From the Oklahoma newsroom, this is a college baseball update. I'm Jenny Carlson. The Oklahoma State Cowboys have hit a bit of a skid, and John Helsley joins us on the phone to talk about what's going on in Stillwater. John, Cowboys seem to be kind of clicking along, but they head to Baylor this weekend for a series that you don't want to say it's must win, but it's got some pretty big implications. Why?
Well, they've lost 4 in a row, Jenny, and were swept at home by Texas Tech, something that never happens. They rarely lose a series at home, let alone get swept at home. And it just seems like a team that's sort of still trying to find itself. They've had injuries throughout this year. They've never really gotten on a consistent, stretch of well-played games. It's sort of up and down. And right now it's down. And I think it's a big time for OSU. They've got to get themselves righted. You've got a Bedlam game coming up in Norman next week. You've got TCU down the road. That's going to be a big series. There's not a lot of time left, believe it or not, in this Big 12 schedule to get yourselves righted.
Well, and John, you talk about how important this series is. Cowboys sitting at 4-5 right now in league play, as is Baylor after last weekend and their losses to Oklahoma, who we'll get to in a second. But a series loss this weekend would put the Cowboys in a big-time win-loss record hole in the Big 12, and then you start to worry about where's your place in the Big 12 tournament, where's your seeding in the NCAA tournament. Those things start to come into play pretty quickly if you're not careful, it seems like.
Absolutely, and if you don't get things righted, do you have a place in the NCAA tournament?
Right.
The Big 12 is not the conference that it has been as far as national respect, only a couple of teams in the rankings. And so, now's the time to sort of solidify that you are the team everybody thought you were, coming into this season. And it's baseball season's sort of funny. It's fast and furious. And you know what? We'll be talking about the Big 12 tournament here before you know it. So Cowboys need to get busy, and they need to do it quick.
Yeah, that Big 12 tournament coming up here towards the end of May. May 25th, I believe, is the first day of that. John, let's talk about the Sooners for a second. I mentioned them earlier. Big series win against Baylor, but not their only series win, even though they are sitting at 4-5 in Big 12 play. They've seemed to be coming on strong where Oklahoma State has been struggling a little bit. What's going on with the Sooners right now?
I think they are finding their way, and it's a team with a lot of young players, and Pete Hughes is using some of those guys and plugging them into his lineup. The weekend rotation now is heavy on freshmen, and so I just think that team's taking a little bit of time to meld. They're doing it now. They still have some veterans like Sheldon Noisy, who's really hitting the ball well. Austin O'Brien, some different guys like that are playing really well. Hunter Haley had a big weekend when taking the series from Baylor. And then the young pitchers are doing a good job. So I think that situation in Norman is just taking some time to develop. They're maybe finding a little bit of confidence and playing their best baseball of the season for sure right now.
Yeah, John, they head to TCU this weekend. Is that a series that they can win? Can they get another series win this weekend?
That's a real statement series for them. TCU was the preseason pick to win the league. Texas Tech is sort of taking the league by the throat right now. But TCU's a quality ball club. Went to the College World Series a year ago. They're still a very talented team. If you go down there and win a couple, I think it sets a statement that the Sooners are definitely playing good baseball, and it puts them back in the conversation to be in the NCAA tournament.
If you want to check out those games on Friday, those openers to the series, Oklahoma at TCU is a 7 o'clock first pitch on FS1, and Oklahoma State at Baylor, their first pitch a little bit earlier, 6:30 on Fox Sports Plus. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.